good to see everybody here. And like, somebody told me in ATL, they was like, how come you don't do something where it like it brings the community together? And I was like, I told him, I was like, honestly, as long as you're authentic as like, excuse my language, as long as you're authentic as fuck, the community is gonna build itself. Like this is already showing you good enough. Like all these people in the room is showing you like this is a community. This isn't just like some random seminar, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everybody coming out. Yeah. Still have to face your own battles at the end of the day, at the end of the night. You still have to go to sleep with your decisions that you made for that day. So going into 15 years old, I finally got out of juvenile detention around like February 25th, and I don't remember the year, but got out of juvenile. And then when I got out of juvenile, I was like, okay, let me make the decision to at least try to change my life or change something around. I obviously couldn't go back to school, so I was like, let me pick up some jobs and at least make some type of money. Because still, I'm going back to my foster mom, and she didn't really care. And it just got worse and worse as the years went by. She was married, the marriage was like the best part of me being with her, because like she was more happy, but once they got divorced, it just seemed like everything went downhill from there. So then it was like different boyfriends coming in and out. So then eventually I started trying to actually learn the skill of it, like learn the craft of how to look at the markets. But it wasn't nothing at like what I do now. It was more in a sense like, what are at least the terminologies? And I just remember doing this for like hours on end, like pretty much anybody else. Like I thought the more time you looked at a chart, the better you would get. But it's really like down to like the trades that you get into, how many trades that you get into. And this doesn't mean trade every single day, but it's just about like what position that you're gonna put yourself in when it comes to trading. Like if you get in one position this week, how did that position play out? Was it good? Was it bad? What can you take from it, learn from it, and sharpen that blade so you can become better and better every day? And I didn't have this mindset at the beginning. It was more of like, how much money can I make off this trade? And I remember thinking this way for a couple of weeks, almost 2 months in. And I remember putting like $900 into an account. I saved up that $900 for like 2-3 weeks, bro, for my job. I was paying for bills with my mom, and then I was also saving up capital like to make this trading shit work. And I just remember putting it all into an account. And at 9:30, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just put my whole 900 on this because I think the market is gonna go up. And I just remember at 9:30, I placed the trade. The trade went through by 9:31. By 9:35, I lost pretty much everything I had. And I was like, fuck. I just lost $900 that I saved up for weeks. And I could have used that for something else. And me and my mom always argued about my trading too, because she always thought it was like gambling. She always thought it was a waste of time. And like my situation, I didn't graduate. I didn't have a diploma or anything. So my mom was definitely beating down on me, telling me like, yeah, you need to like actually do something. And I just remember all this coming full circle at that moment of losing that $900. And I just was like, I gotta actually learn what I'm doing. Like, I feel like I'm just chasing money at this point. I need to actually learn the skill, because if I actually learn the skill, I actually can make some money from it. I can actually get somewhere with it. So then I just started focusing on like, what am I doing wrong? How to find the trends, how to find the positions that I can get into where I can be able to make some type of profit in the long run, because either way it goes, I'm gonna be in the right position. So eventually I started doing this, and it was a rough little ride, because psychology wise, it's hard to really trust the trade or like trust the process or even trust the like time frames that you're looking at. It's really hard to do that, but you really like, and I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be, you're not really gonna understand it now, but you're gonna understand it like a couple weeks from now, a couple days from now, a couple months from now. But whenever you're marking up the charts, whenever you're looking at the charts, higher time frames, I always tell people to stay off the lower time frames, but when you're looking at the time frames, when you're putting everything together, you have to remember that everything is gonna trend in the market. The market is gonna trend in some type of way. So regardless of what you feel like in that moment, you have to think long-term of what you're looking at. For example, a couple months ago, like if you would have looked at gold and it was building bullish structure, you would have never thought it would be here where it's at now today. you was only probably thinking for that one day. You was like, oh, it's just gonna buy for this day. But you have to switch your mindset from like, okay, I'm looking for a price to do this for this day, and change it to, okay, I see the market's heading in this direction long term, or I see it heading in this direction for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And that kind of, I guess you can say it gets rid of the fear on a day-to-day basis. Because on a day-to-day basis, when you're trading, you're probably thinking like, oh, what is the market gonna do for this day? And you're kind of scared, it's moving up and down, it's probably wicking you out, you're getting stopped out constantly. But the minute that you remove that and say, all right, let me see how this trade plays out for the next 2 days. Let's see if it actually goes in my direction for the next 2 days or 3 days. It kind of removes all your fear from the actual trade in general, because you are willing to let it have a process. You're letting it process through, and you're letting things play out. Once you let things play out, it's pretty much going to give you the advantage over anything and everything. So I come to say all this because I ended up, building my account from 3K to 100K, and then to my first 6 figures, 7 figures. And then I remember doing my taxes that year, and I didn't know anything about taxes. I remember doing my taxes this year with some guy, bro, and he scammed me for like 400K, and I couldn't do anything about it because I didn't know what the fuck to do. But I just remember all this, and I remember SPY crashing in December 2022. It was at 400, it was like $401. And the crash happened, and it went all the way back down to like, I think it was right around like 324. And it was like all in a time span of like 2 months. And I remember switching over from trading penny stocks to trading Forex. But when I started trading Forex, I was pretty much trading like EU, GJ, and all that. And I just really didn't find like the actual like rhythm of it. Like I was making some money, but not like what I wanted to make. So then somebody told me that I could trade SPY and NQ, and I was like, wait, word? Because like I only knew stocks at the time, so I'm learning all of this. Some of you guys probably know pretty much everything now, but at the time as a beginner, you don't really know much. You're just doing stuff at that point. And somebody told me that you can trade NQ, and I was like, okay, let me do that, because I've been trading in the stock market, I understand it. And what Forex allows you to do, or what CFDs allow you to do, is to buy and sell it. So it was like way better. And I didn't want to go back to options either, because it's like mad riskier. So I was just like, all right, let me do this. And I ended up trading NQ, and here we are today to this point, where I've been trading for 4 years, and I switched over to gold. And I would say, I don't trade NQ now, but I've traded it for 3 years, and I definitely say that I'm pretty good at it. But switching over to gold has definitely changed my perspective a lot, because it does have a lot more price action than NQ does. And currently, with the whole Trump situation and manipulation, I prefer to stay away from it and trade gold or trade crypto. Crypto is something I've recently just got into after hating on it for so long. I hated on it for so long. But this doesn't go to say like, oh, only trade those things for the money. But I'm saying it has a lot of liquidity in it. It's for you to be able to trade. You have to. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's not wrong to trade Forex pairs, of course. But if you want to get the best out of your trades, trade something that is going to be moving on a constant daily basis. With a Forex pair, I understand there's some moves on the smaller time frames, but you're not going to wake up one day and the pound is like 10 times more than the USD. That's not going to happen. Like, Forex is going to fluctuate with the economy, but it's going to be at a slower rate than something that people are investing millions of dollars into every day. Something like stocks. People are constantly buying stocks, millions of dollars, billions of dollars in orders. Crypto, people are putting billions of dollars in orders, so it's constantly fluctuating on the sell side and the buy side. So always find something that is going to bring you consistent liquidity into the market, so that way you can trade on these week-to-week basis, day-to-day basis. I wouldn't recommend day-to-day, but week-to-week basis, and you can profit off of that because it's constantly fluctuating. And I started this whole ICC thing, and once again, for anybody in the room, like, ICC is just price action and market structure. I don't know why I've been seeing TikTok, and they're saying like it's smart money concepts, break and retest. The whole break and retest is so dumb to me, because it's like, it's not a break and retest, because there's times where price can break past the level that you're supposed to retest, and then you can get wiped out. It's the whole thing. But ICC is just price action and market structure. I just, I personally trade price action and market structure, but I was like, if I was to explain it to somebody, how would I explain it? That's basically what ICC is. How would I explain it to someone else? Because what I was told from a life mentor of mine, he was like, if you can't explain something to somebody in less than 5 minutes, then you don't know what you're talking about, or even less. And I feel like now, I wouldn't say I'm the best trader at all. There's definitely way better traders than I am.
But you're really good. You're really good.
Yeah, there's way better traders than I am. But I would definitely say I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to market structure and price action. And I just always wanted to like become good at something, and this full circles back to my overall life. Like, I knew I wasn't good at something, but when I was a kid, I wish somebody would at least help me become good at something. Whether it was sports or music or something, but nobody would be, like, everybody has an ego. So coming to this full circle moment now, it's just like when I push this out, it's not just like, oh, I'm just trying to teach you how to trade. Because if you really watch my videos, I like talking about psychology. Because everything you go through, every decision you make is based off the mindset that you have, the psychology that you have. So everything you do it for a reason because of what your past experience are. Whatever your mindset is now, it's only because of where you was born from, where you grew up in, what you've been through, the things that you've seen. That's why you have the mindset that you have now. Or you try to even get on the charts and make some type of play or make some type of trading financial decision, you have to get your mind right. Because I remember that day I lost $900. It just wiped the whole like greed out of me. Like, I was like, I need to stop chasing the money aspect of it. Even though I'm broke, I need to stop chasing it because I'm just getting more broke. I was like, so it was just like a full circle moment where I was like, I need to actually understand what I'm doing and why am I doing this? And for me, my situations or my problems in the beginning was definitely my greed. And that's only because my mom was going through a situation that I wanted to get her out of. But I knew that if I took my time to actually learn the skill, it'll be faster that if I learn the skill first, and then it will end up paying me long term. So it really changed my mind when I just overall stopped chasing the money aspect of it or trying to be the best in the beginning and changing like how I thought about approaching the markets. Because once you change it, everything is going to become clear. The best thing I can say is that when you have a clear mind, you can think more. You like, how do I put it? So majority of the people probably work on a day-to-day basis and they also trade on the side, right? Do you ever feel like when you are going to work and then you have to come back home and trade and it feels like you're kind of like, you don't get enough time to trade or you don't get enough time to study and it's like everything feels crammed, right? That's how it's gonna feel in the beginning. I worked 2 jobs at the time of trading, and I worked in the daytime and the nighttime from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the one warehouse job. It was 12-hour shift. And then I went to Walmart from 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. all the way to 3 a.m. And I was trying to fit trading into that. And I was doing the best I could, like, even though I would recommend not doing it, trying to do all this at one time, I would recommend if you're gonna start trading, try to free up some time so you can have clarity, so you can have I guess you could say a clear mind, right? You need to be able to process what you're doing and process the thoughts that you're having and the reason why you're having it. You see things on the chart. We all see things differently on the charts for a reason. Once again, it goes back to the way that you think about things, right? We might see support and resistance differently. We might see highs and lows differently, but that's only because of our mindsets are different. So once you start clearing your mind, everything kind of comes like full circle to the actual fundamental of what it actually is. Because me personally, I always think like when it comes to highs and lows, there's no like, it's a high and a low. There's no other definition for it, if that makes sense. So when it came to all this, I just really wanted to say that I'm really happy that we built something this crazy, and it's still building. Even somebody, that somebody would help me in my situation, or not even like, I never asked for money from people. Like, I was always that guy that was like, all right, if I'm fucking dead broke and I gotta sleep outside, it is what it is. This is the situation I have to go through, so I have to deal with it, because everything you go through is for a reason, and you have to deal with it. Like, sometimes shit happens, life happens. Like, it might not even be your fault, but shit happens. But the reason why it happens is because it's meant for you to go through it and learn from it. Everything I went through, I never look back and be like, oh, I hate her or I hate them because they didn't do this for me or do that. I'm like, I'm glad you made me go through that, because now I'm stronger. So everything you go through, you got to remember, it's not because like the world hates you, it's because you have to go through that to become the best version of yourself. It's really up to you. Like I was told, or something I actually learned, the best way to become successful, and it's not like guaranteed, but the best way to become successful is the way that you react to things. Like your reaction to things will always determine everything. I'm gonna put it in perspective, right? Let's say you get into a car crash, God forbid. Let's say you get into a car crash. Most people will freak out. They'll get out the car, start screaming, get mad, get upset. But what is that gonna solve? What is that gonna solve? You're gonna get mad for what? You're wasting energy. You're wasting all that anger for what? You get out the car. Okay, the car is obviously crashed. It's not like you can fucking rewind and like uncrash the car. So why are you gonna get mad about that, right? So you have to deal with it. Okay, I see my car is crashed. Let me call the police. Let me call the insurance company. We'll get it settled. It is what it is, right? Same way with life. You go through some shit in life. I'm in this situation. How can I get out of it? What can I do to get myself out of the situation I'm in? What can I do to get a better outcome of what the situation I'm in? And that's just always the way that I thought. And pretty much my whole story shows that, like, at the moment of being homeless, it was like, I don't like this. What can I do to get myself out of this situation? What was the best bet that I could put on myself to get myself out of this situation? When it came to trading, after losing that 900, it was like, I'm obviously ass at trading. What can I do to become better and make my situation way better than what it is? So when it comes to things, it's not about what you can do, it's like how you react to it. Like if you can react to it in a positive way and see the greater good out of it, I think you'll get pretty much farther than anybody that kind of thinks that they can just keep full sending it every single time. So just always have hope in yourself, and I'm here to spread hope and spread the simplicity of trading, because I don't think trading should be as hard as people portray it to be. And people are always gonna fight me about it, but I just always feel like it's super simple. Super simple, because think about it, like even with life, right? Everything is simple steps, but it's covered up and disguised. Like we can talk about this all day, but everything in life, people will cover up and disguise something that's a 1, 2, 3 step process and make it seem like it's 7 steps, right? When it comes to anything you do in life, think about how you do it. Like if you make a sandwich, right? It's 1, 2, 3, sandwich is done. And it comes with pretty much anything else. If you have to go to the store, you drive to the store, get your groceries, check out, and you got groceries. It's like super simple when it comes to things. It's like, I think people overcomplicate it just to drive you into this pit of like feeling like you can't do it. And then you start paying for shit and you're trying to figure a way out when the whole time the way out is in front of you right there in your face, but you're just overlooking it because he says he has this, or she says she has that, or he's showing you this, or he's showing you that. And it comes back to everything. Like I try my best to provide as much as possible for everybody in this room. Even if I don't know everybody's name in here, I definitely should have a lot of love for everybody in here, because I definitely remember me starting trading. If you want to take, notes of it or whatever you can, but I'm not telling you to do anything. I would never tell you to like, hey, this is the best way to do it, or this is the way you need to do it. I'm just going to tell you what I do. So when it comes to risk management, something I've seen that worked for me was like, I personally risk 10%. And the reason why I risk 10%, because over the course of time, I stopped trading more and more. Because in the beginning, as a beginner trader, you trade more on the volume end, so you're constantly placing trades on a day-to-day basis, maybe 5 trades, maybe 10 trades. But me personally, I probably like maybe 2 to 3 trades a week. And with this, I'm able to put myself in a position where I can scale from that trade. That's my idea when I go into a trade. Like before I hop on the charts, it's like, all right, if I'm gonna get into this trade, is this trade gonna go for a long period of time? So is it gonna go for the next 2 days, next 3 days, next week? How do I feel about the trade? So first is, how do you feel about this trade? Is this trade gonna be a bigger term trade, a long term trade? What is this trade gonna be? And when I do this, then I'll approach the market like, okay, what am I gonna risk per trade? Or what am I gonna risk this trade? And normally I like to risk the 10%, and I look for a 1 to 4 or a 1 to 3. Sometimes you can get more 1 to 3s than 1 to 4s, but 1 to 3, 1 to 4 is good. And the reason why I say it's good is because if you think about it, if you lose 1 trade, you still have 3 more trades to go, and any one of those profit, you'll be back in profit. People that risk the 1 to 1, I don't hate on it, but if you lose 1 trade, you gotta make 2 trades to make back in profit, But if you do a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, if you lose 1 trade, that's okay. There should be no reason while you're losing 4 trades back to back to back. Now, I know we're all beginners, but if you're losing 4 trades back to back, you need to honestly critique yourself a little bit harder because something you're doing is not right, obviously, right? You should be able to tell if something's wrong in those 4 trades or in those 3 trades. And you should be analyzing, all right, what am I doing wrong? Most people, I would say the most people will probably have a problem with is like the higher time frames. People have higher time frame like problems because they don't trust in the process, or they don't trust in the trade, or they don't kind of see it as well as they do. Like they feel like the lower time frames kind of give candles and more information faster, so they feel like it's way better. But the moment you switch to higher time frames, it's going to clear up pretty much everything. It's going to clear up all the noise on the smaller time frames. It's going to clear up pretty much anything you probably even doubt too, because there will be moments where you're in a trade and the 1 hour candle might look like it's rejecting, but if you give it another hour, it might come back down in your direction, or it might go up in your direction. So it really comes down to patience. So this whole 10%, 1 to 4 risk to reward, all this came down to patience at the end of the day, because even though I'm risking so high, what people would say, I know that if I'm risking for a 1 to 3 or a 1 to 4, I know I'm gonna come out with at least 30%, 40%. And it's not me being greedy, it's just me seeing like, okay, the higher time frame is key. If I'm basing my trade off the higher time frame, the probability of me being successful in this trade is gonna be way higher.
Yo, y'all gotta shut the fuck up.
Oh shit. Risk to reward standpoint, never think of it as like how much money you're risking. Always think about it like, all right, if price hits my stop level, that just means my trade is invalid. That means I'm wrong. So think about your trades as like, all right, I'm wrong on the setup, not like, oh, I'm gonna lose this much. Obviously have proper risk management where you don't blow your whole account. But when you get into a trade, don't think like, if price is coming approaching your stop loss, don't be like, dang, I'm losing money. Be like, all right, I lost this setup. Why didn't I see the setup the way I did? Or why did I see the setup the way I did? And then change your aspect of how you think about that. And then focus like, all right, what can I do next time to avoid this situation? Because once again, the higher time frame is always going to show you the overall of what the market is going to do. So if you focus on that, you pretty much can see, like I'm not going to say you're 100%, but you can see what price is going to do before it does it. So when it comes to risk management, make sure 1 to 4, 1 to 3, 10%. And when you do this, let's say you start off like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but these $500 accounts, $100 accounts, bro, y'all gotta stop doing that, bro. And the reason why I say this, because I remember trying to do it. And there's people that can get away with it. There's people that come out on profit of turning $100 to $1,000 or $500 to a couple thousands, but it's risky. Like it's way riskier because you only have so much. There's a little bit you can get away with. Like if you have a $500 account, you can maybe risk $50 per trade. How I like to do it is like, let's say I have a $1,000 account. I like to do it by how many trades does it take to blow my account? And I like to do it this way because then I know I'll be risking that 10%. So I normally say, all right, I'm gonna have 10 trades, I'm gonna set 10 trades for myself. And if I lose all 10 trades, that just means I blow my whole account. But realistically, if you're trading on the higher time frame, you're trading price action, market structure, there's no way you should be losing 10 trades in a row. And if you're looking for a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, your one trade should add on 4 more trades. So if you have a $1,000 account, for example, and you risk $100 per trade, 1 to 3 setup. If you lose one, you're down to 900, right? But if you hit the next one, you're at 1,100. So now you're back in profit. No, 1,200. You're back at 1,200. And then if you win the next one, you're consistently scaling up from there. And as you scale up, notice how the numbers will get bigger, because you'll have like a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, you're risking $100. You're making $300 per trade. I don't know about none of y'all, but if you make $300 in one day, you're pretty much making some bread. Like, don't get in the delusion. And I know, looking at my Instagram, and it's probably like, oh, bro, like I can get to that level too or whatever. But you have to like think small first. Like, don't think small, but like achieve the small goals first, because when you start getting up, climbing up, you'll appreciate it more. Because there's some people that want to go from $1,000 account to 10,000 by the end of the week, and they haven't even seen those consistent 100 days yet, $100 days, $200 days. So then when they start seeing these days where they're down $1,000, $2,000 because they have a $10,000 account that they have no emotion over, you lose that way faster. But once you build yourself up, you appreciate the small gains, you appreciate the small rewards, and you also take in the losses pretty effectively, right? If you're only risking 10% on 1,000, all right, I lost $100 today. I know the next day I could possibly make 300, right? I know if the next setup I get in, I could possibly make 300. So let me not stress about that. You shouldn't be stressing about any trade you get in because your risk management. And look at all my entries on Instagram. Like when I show before and after, all my entries will come from a breakage of a swing high or a swing low. Now, some people always tell me like, oh, that's not ICC or whatever the case might be. But ICC is, once again, market structure and price action. If price on a higher time frame is breaking a swing low, that means it's bearish. If it's breaking a swing high, it's bullish in whatever case. So if it's bearish, it's always targeting lows. It's always targeting the next swing low. And if it's bullish, it's always targeting the next swing high. So if you have that in your head, that pretty much solves pretty much all your problems because you already have what ICC does. And once again, it's price action and market structure. What ICC does is it provides you the indication. The indication is already showing you at this level it's breaking out. So that's your entry point. The level that is breaking out, that will be your primary entry point. And then it will indicate you of where it's going to go from that point. So it's going to show you your entry and it's going to show you where your TP needs to be. All the correction is doing is correcting the market so then you can get your next entry, but it's also providing you with your stop loss. Because once the correction is over, that's essentially where you're going to put your stop loss. So pretty much ICC solves up where am I going to enter? Where's my TP? Where's my stop loss going to be? That's how I wanted it to be designed. I wanted it to be this way because then you don't have any questions on like, oh, where should I enter? It should be like breakage of whatever the swing high is, whatever the swing low is. And to finish your question, I wouldn't add on more because there's sometimes like, you don't want to put yourself in a trade where price is like fluctuating in the middle of it. So if you already got your entry and price is already in profit, you don't know if price is going to make some type of correction or it could even go more. It could be in profit, but you never know if price is going to have like a minor correction. And you don't want to put yourself in a mindset where like you have one trade in blue and then this one's in drawdown and you're like, damn, like this one's eating my profits on this one, close. It's like a whole thing. So you just keep one position, hold it to TP, and then make your decision if you're going to hold that trade more or not. And then go into the next trade. If price makes another like ICC setup and you're still in the previous trade, then you can add on, but I wouldn't add on in the midst of an active trade already. So wait, just scream out what y'all want to talk about. I'm gonna talk about liquidity. That's a good one. That sounds so confusing. I personally don't look at liquidity like probably like the smart money traders do, but my sold on the breakout is taking them out of the markets, and it's also making other traders that are waking up on a day-to-day basis, and they get on the charts and they see that the candle's going down or the candle's going up, they're gonna be like, oh, today's this day, today's gonna be a sell day, and then they end up getting wiped out. So that's how I look at liquidity. I look at this on the. Oh, do I trade the correction? No. No. There's some times where you'll see me probably like, let's say if the 4 hours on a trend, and the 1 hour is correcting. Sometimes you can utilize it, but it's very risky. I always tell people like, if you're gonna do something against the rules, just be okay with the risk, because there's some times where you could make a play, but it's not recommended to do so. But I wouldn't trade the correction. I would just stick to the overall trend and putting yourself in a position where you can then scale from that trade. No, I personally don't believe in break even, and people are gonna fight me about it because like break even doesn't tell me if my trade is invalid. How I look at stop loss is like, if I get stopped out, that means the trend is invalid. What I'm looking for is invalid. If I put it in break even and then get stopped out and break even, that doesn't tell me anything. It just tells me like, I just got stopped out, but the trend can keep going back up. Because I've heard countless stories of like people saying like, oh, every time I put my stop loss in profit, it takes me out and keeps going. I've heard that story like 1,000 times. And I would always just keep it in the area where like, if it's invalidated, that means the trend is over or the trend is reversing. But yeah, when it comes to, yeah.
And an exact number or estimate of how many trades you made this year.
On my TradeZilla, it says 300, but that's like positions. I would say I took 45 trades this year. 45 trades out of 250 days.
Dude, it's amazing you're doing this. So thank you, really, from my heart. Thank you. Second, my question is like sometimes we see internal structure and external structure. So then when the indication comes, does the indication is better when it breaks the external market structure? Because sometimes within the internal structure, you know, like the 15-minute or 1 hour going in like that, it breaks up, right? But it's just breaking up towards breaking the big range of the 4 hour. I don't know if I'm explaining.
Boy, that sounds
myself.
confusing too.
Yeah. So like in the 4 hour, there's a big range.
Yeah.
And then the 1 hour is like smaller. So the indication comes when it breaks the 4 hour or when it breaks the...
It depends. If the 4 hours in a range, you have to wait till the 4 hour breaks. Because the 4 hour is essentially higher than the 1 hour, so you can't go based off what the 1 hour is doing. So if price is consolidating on the 4 hour, you have to respect that because that's what's the overall price is fluctuating in between the 4 hour, not the 1 hour. The 1 hour is obviously going to have some type of movement because it has to move, right? To make up the 4 hour. So always like if one's doing, like let's say if you're looking at the 4 hour and it's showing an uptrend, you have to respect that, right? Or if the 1 hour is showing a downtrend but the 4 hour is doing something different, you have to respect the 4 hour, right? Everything has to align. That's what it comes even down to entries again. You have to make sure everything aligns. So if you're looking for price to be bullish, for example, the correction is obviously going to be bearish, right? When price is correcting on the 4 hour, 1 hour time frame, it's going to be bearish. You have to wait till every time frame starts aligning with each other again. So the 15 minutes is going to have to align, the 1 hour is going to have to align. And once those two align and it comes back above the initial breakout area, that's your move to go. And then also that volume coming in from New York, because I trade gold, but that volume coming in from New York is always going to push it.
Great answer, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
What was your aha moment with trading? Like, what made you think like ICC worked?
Yes. From the 3,000 to the 100, how did it go?
I think my aha moment was pretty much when I kept it simple. It was pretty much the pivotal point for me because I was able to see the trend for what it is and not what I thought. I think that's one of the biggest things for me too as well. Like, I'm always big on like, all right, what is the market showing me it wants to do? Which is why we have the highs and the lows because those are going to show you like if price is breaking a swing high, it's obviously showing you like there's more buyers in the market than there are sellers, right? And vice versa. So I always stuck to what is the market showing me? And once I actually started letting the market play out for what it's showing, it was like, oh, this is not as bad as I thought. Because like as a beginner trader, you want price to do like self-consciously, you're thinking in your head, like you're marking up your chart and you're like, okay, I think it's going to sell today, or I think it's going to sell this week. But the market might show something different later on in the week and you still have this mindset like, I want the market to sell because that's what I seen, right? But it's really like, all right, what is the market? I didn't bring it today, but I have like this brick thing. It's like a little block that I use for my trades. A lot of people tell me, like, how do I not like get into trades on certain days, or like, how do I protect myself from like trading every day? I have like this brick thing. I don't have it now, but basically what it does, and there's different brands and different companies that you can get it from, but basically what it does, when I tap my phone on it, it locks pretty much all my trading. It locks my trading view, my MT5, my liquid chart, it locks everything. So I can't see anything on the trading side. And I think this works for me because I used to be a bad person when it came to over trading. I used to be in a habit of like, oh shit, I know what I'm doing. Let me just keep trading. Like, especially like in the beginning, once I started learning more about price action and understanding it more and like trial and error through the charts, I was like, all right, I think I know what I'm doing. So now I can just trade anything and everything, but that's never the case because, you know, time frames do exist. So as long as I stayed on the higher time frame, I pretty much avoided everything, but I didn't. I was on the 1 minute time frame. Like, I used to trade on the 1 minute time frame a lot back then. Like it was bad. And I just remember trading every day and trying to trade every setup and trying to make as much money as I possibly could in one day. So that goes back down to discipline. It goes back down to discipline. When it comes to trading, you got to remember, the slower you go, the faster everything kind of comes full circle. Like in the beginning, it might seem like if I make X amount of money this week, I'm good and I'm set, but it's never the case. You want to focus more on like, if I'm trying to trade, I need to become better and better on a day-to-day basis, a week-to-week basis, and I should take my time to actually learn and perfect the craft and actually, like, to be honest, real shit, the only thing you really need to learn is like trends and higher time frames. Like if you actually understand what a trend is and understand like how I told him about the higher high and the higher low needs to be made or whatever the case might be, if you understand that and put that in your head, it pretty much clears up anything. And I'm not gonna say it's like the holy grail, but I definitely remember switching and trusting the higher time frame and trusting like, all right, this is the fundamentals of a trend, let me trust it. It started to play out more in my favor because I started to trust the actual process. And I've shown you guys time and time again, like before and after, like trust the trend, trust the process, and you'll see like the next day or the day after, it's gonna play out in the way that you want if you're looking at the right things, right? So that's definitely something I wanna say when it comes down to discipline. You have to like really take your time. Like I know like some of you guys, somebody in this room probably spent their last dollars to get here. You never know, right? Somebody probably did all they could to get here. And what I could tell you is like the slower you go in life and anything you do, the slower you go, the more you can take in and actually analyze. Because if your life is constantly, okay, go to work. I'm trying to trade while I'm at work. I'm trying to do this and handle all these different things. I got people at home praying for me or like they're counting on me or I have this or I have this friend that needs this. I want to go on this vacation or I want to do this. I want to buy this. And you have all these different things cluttering your mind. It's really hard to really process what you're actually doing. But the moment you slow down and calm down, you're actually able to take in things and understand your own self. I always tell people, I'm super big on psychology. It's like charts is another thing. That shit is easy. The psychology part, you really have to like sit down with yourself and understand yourself as a person. Because I was a very greedy person and I didn't even know it. Like once I knew the opportunities that trading could give me, I kind of was in like, oh shit, like I know I can make a couple hundred off of it. I need it now. I need it like at this moment. But I started to see like my greed was taking over my actual skill, right? There's a lot of people in this world that let their greed take over things. There's a lot of bad habits that people kind of, like if, let's say you have like a person that drinks, right? They drink and they could be a great person, but then over time that starts the alcoholism starts to take over in their life and ends up affecting them. So it's the same way with my greed. It was like I was becoming greedier and greedier and it was affecting my actual chance to actually learn what I was actually doing. I was more in it for the money and not the skill of it. So that's one thing I will say when it comes to discipline is actually take your time, slow down, go to like, if you can, like go to a private area or like outside or something, get some fresh air and sit with yourself and let your thoughts roam, no music, whatever. And this might sound cliche, but really sit with yourself and ask yourself different questions like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What do you think of yourself? How do you think of yourself? And you have to be brutally honest. Like when I thought of myself, I was like, damn, I'm just nobody, right? Like I was a nobody. So it was like, once you sit down and you're honest with yourself, your honesty to yourself then allows the truth to give you answers. And once your truth gives you answers like, okay, I'm a bad person at this or I'm a bad person at that, you start to then come up with solutions on how you can become a better person. Once you become a better person, it goes full circle into anything you do. Because if you're a good person, you're a positive person, you're gonna see positivity in anything you do because you bring positive energy to it. Like this room, right? I have no negative energy at all. Look at the positivity that we have in this room, right? And there's some people in here probably hate me, right? You never know. You never know, man, right? But it's always gonna outweigh. Like the positivity is always gonna outweigh. You're gonna have negative thoughts about yourself, right? But your positivity, as long as you have positivity, it's always gonna outweigh what you think about yourself, right? Always think about it that way. Like somebody told me, they was like, yeah, like how I think of social media, they're like, bro, you see hate more than you see love, but there's a lot of love, right? There's a lot of love. So it's the same way with yourself. Like you can see a lot of bad things about you, but you have to wake up and be like, dang, I woke up today, right? Like I'm here, so I'm able to learn another day. So yeah. Oh shit.
So it's like 175 people watching. But
Yo, shout out to y'all guys.
But there's one question, and I think it was the best question of all. It said, ask him if he woke up tomorrow with nothing, what would you do?
If I woke up tomorrow with nothing, I think the first thing I would do If I had like $0 to my name, nothing, I definitely would find some stable source of income. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that can help any trader, is having some type of stable source of income, whether it's freelancing, whether it's doing like a job, fast food, or whatever. College for myself in trading. So basically I'll be like, all right, 3 months I have to learn trading, right? And then my big test will be when I got the $1,000, right? And as these 3 months go by, I'm practicing on the charts. I'm taking positions on TradingView, whatever the case might be, or trading like, just trading just on TradingView, right? And I will be learning, seeing if my positions are right. And once I'm seeing my positions are right, I see I'm consistent, and I'm also saving up. Once the moment comes, I'll be like, okay, I think I'm ready. And I'm ready only because I see that I have better positions now. My positions are good. I'm hitting TP. I'm hitting stop loss. A lot of people, they think like, oh, I turned the $1,000 demo to 10,000. I'm ready to go. But it's never the case, because you can probably do that in one trade, right? What?
And then what would you suggest for people who are in debt and trying to trade? Pay off the debts first, or trade to pay off the debts?
This is not financial advice. Fuck that debt. You gotta pay that shit when you gotta pay that shit later. Not financial advice, but I will pay that shit later. You got bigger, because like, I understand life happens, right? But you have to remember, like, you cannot keep putting yourself in, like, once again, I know life happens, but you can't keep putting yourself in holes and holes and holes. Because there's some people out here that will go out and get a loan to start trading, right? Instead of building it from the ground up, because you think just because you have the funds, you're able to, like, that's why I even hate prop firms. Prop firms are just like loans too, right? You think just because I have the capital, I'm gonna become a profitable trader, or that's what's gonna make me profitable, right? But it all comes down, once again, to the skill. Like, if you have the skill, if your blade is sharp, then you can attack in war, right? So it's not about if you have the funds or not. So the more you keep digging yourself in a hole, I would just say, you already dug yourself in a hole, you don't have any money, so stop putting yourself in a bigger hole, and you need to figure out a way out of, okay, I need funds, so that way I can learn how to trade, start learning how to trade, get some funds, and then as my skills start to show, then you can pay that off later. Once again, this is not financial advice, but I would definitely say the biggest thing for me was definitely the losses that I did take in the beginning, or like even opening trades. Like in the beginning, like taking a loss for like $1,000, $2,000, it kind of has you like thinking like, damn, like I really just lost like 3-4 weeks of work. Like if you constantly think in if you constantly think in a mindset of like, all right, this is how much I would make for my job. So if you keep trading and think of it as like, this is my job, it kind of makes you be more careful on what you're actually doing. Like you're not going into it like, oh, trading is the holy grail, right? It's my actual job. I have to wake up and do this every morning, or I have to do this like every other day to make a source of living. And then, what the fuck was that? But yeah, when you think like in the terms of like, all right, this is my actual job, then you're more careful on what you're doing, and you're more cautious and more patient for what you're doing. So it's easier to scale when you have a clear mind. For the guy that asked about the 4 figures to 5, it really comes down to, hold on one sec. It really comes down to just trusting the process of what you're doing, and then continue to build up with proper risk to reward. There's nothing really different from scaling up numbers wise. It's more of like a skill thing. Like as long as your skill is getting better and better, you're gonna make money regardless. And as long as you're protecting your capital and using it wisely, because I know your first 10K, you're gonna definitely blow that shit, bro. I'm telling you this right now. Bro, I heard so many people say, oh, bro, when I make 10K, I'm gonna help this, help that. Nigga. Bro, my first 10K, I definitely blew that shit in the mall. Bro, and it's because we're humans, right? We're humans, right? But once you get away from the mind, here, open up. Breaking on those win streak. So when you do take that loss, it shouldn't affect you as much, because you know you obviously have the skill. It just didn't play out that day. So once again, don't think of it in a sense of like, oh, I'm just a bad trader. Just think of it as like, all right, today wasn't the day. Or I probably miscommunicated with the markets, right? It's all about the communication. The market is going to tell you what it's going to do, and you receive that communication that the market is giving you, and maybe some days you might have a miscommunication. That's just life, right? You're going to miscommunicate with your friends. You're going to miscommunicate with your family. But you're not going to like, just because you and your mom or you and your dad or you and your friend miscommunicate, you're not going to stop being friends or you're not stop going to be family, right? Just because you miscommunicate with the markets, that doesn't mean, all right, I'm done, I'm going to quit, right? So it's just a bad day. You wake up the next day and see if you can catch the communication that day.
This is cool because I know you since like when you had a dreads.
That's lit, bro. Much love, bro. What's up?
Let's do one question.
Yeah.
So I know somebody had mentioned that aha moment.
Yeah.
Now I know we all looking for that aha moment.
Yeah.
What time frame was your aha moment on?
Bro, I don't remember like the 4 hour, maybe. That ain't gonna change anything.
I'm just saying, 'cause I know you said it's better to trade on a
Higher time frames.
You know what I'm saying?
1 hour time frame.
How did it work? How long did it take?
It
I
was
know 2 years before that.
roughly like 2 to 3 months. It was roughly 2 to 3 months. And honestly, it was just pretty much setups with volume, to be honest, because at that time I was trading penny stocks at that time. So if you're talking about in the beginning, it was definitely penny stocks, but I don't remember every single trade. But yeah, I took it pretty smooth on those 2 months though. I chased whatever was trending at that time, and I was looking for whatever came out with the best outcome and probability. So it wasn't like, oh, I was just hopping into anything and everything. I was definitely taking my time and looking for what was going to play out in my favor. Yeah, I was good.
What's your routine for trading the market? You wake up
No, I'm not gonna be like one of those. I'm not gonna be like the gurus and be like, yeah, bro, I wake up, meditate. No, I don't do that, bro. Even in the beginning, bro, I couldn't really have a routine. The reason I couldn't have a routine is because I had 2 jobs, so my life was chaotic. But what I can say that will help is what I said earlier about sitting with yourself and being able to process your thoughts and letting that. So if you want to call that meditation, but definitely do that on a day-to-day basis. Don't be like, oh, I need to do it at 9 a.m. every morning. Just whenever you have the chance to sit with your thoughts and clear your thoughts, take that time and then, utilize that.
Well, like how many hours before the market opens?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as, because remember, you're battling yourself regardless. So if you practice with yourself in any time in the moment or any time in the day, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna have that thought of you doing that. That's still gonna be forever with yourself. So as long as you're doing that, you pretty much, it doesn't matter what time you wake up, right? Cause I wake up at pretty much 9:30, probably on the dot, sometimes 8, sometimes before. It's just really random. I don't have I need to wake up at 9 o'clock every single morning, right? It's just more of like, if I wake up today, I trade, right?
We're still waiting on that psychology channel, huh?
Huh?
We're still waiting on that psychology channel.
ICC
Oh,
Mafia.
psychology channel. Yeah, we'll see. Should I wait? There's a lot of things that drag psychology. Psychology is like the how do I say it? It's a broad thing, right? But what you're doing kind of stems back into it. So it depends on what you're doing. So like how he said losses, that will affect his psychology, if that makes sense, right? So when it comes to like losses, like I just told somebody, you shouldn't think of it as like, oh, I'm a bad trader or I don't know what I'm doing. It's more of like, all right, what did I do wrong? And how can I fix what I did wrong? And if you accept that, then you kind of go in with the mindset of, if I lose, I'm okay with it, right? Trading, for example, because I'm good, like I like analogies. Trading, for example, is like a car, right? Or your strategy is like a car. The more complex your car is, the more complex your strategy is, the more harder it's going to be fixed, right? Right? So when you get all these like crazy, like souped up cars, it's going to cost a lot or it's going to be a lot to fix them. But if you have like a Honda, something simple, right? It's going to be so much easier to fix. You're going to know what to fix because it's not that many parts in it, right? So when it comes with your trading strategy, as long as you're able to look under the hood and be able to fix what you're looking at or fix what's wrong, then you shouldn't be like, bent out of shape. But if you got like a super expensive, super souped out car, one thing breaks, of course you're going to freak out because you don't know what to fix, right? So market. But yeah, just make sure that what you're doing is super simple, so that way when you do lose, you can go in and know what to fix right away, and then you can move on to the next one, right? So yeah, that answered that question. I'm gonna definitely get this guy in the back.
Hey, I appreciate it. I noticed that you're feeding the homeless out here in Los Angeles.
No, it's not in Los Angeles. Friends, some family members, and I remember typing in that group chat, and I had every 20 people in there, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be my like group chat for my trading. I'm gonna share my charts in here. This is what I'm gonna talk about. Yeah, like hopefully we all make some money together. And they're like, yeah, that shit's gambling. It's for white people. It's not gonna work. And I just remember this when I was 18. I was like, damn. I was like, I really think trading's gonna work. And they just like, people will stump on your dreams and people will stump on what you believe in. And it's just like, damn, like those ain't the people you want to be around. The people in here, we all believe in trading in some type of way, right? We all believe in trading some type of way, right? So we're not gonna get mad. We're not gonna get mad at each other. Like you might somebody might over leverage their account. We're not gonna get mad at him, or we're not gonna get mad at her. We're gonna be like, all right, this is what you can do. This is what can be better for you, or this is what I would do if I was you, right? We would lift each other up. So always put yourself around people that are gonna lift you up through thick and thin. Like always, right? I've had friends in my past that, you know, we would smile. Like just because somebody smiles in your face and you're having a good time, and this will definitely play a lot when you start making money, right? You start going out with your friends. There's people that will smile in your face. And I was, this guy, I'm not gonna name his name, but this guy, when I was 18, I was like 19, smile in my face, we would have fun. And then I ended up getting robbed by him. Like he took everything I had, all the designer I had, all the Apple products I had, and just like ran with it. And like, it was just that. And I thought this was my best friend, right? I've had people snake me from like behind my back, do shady things behind my back. And it's just like, there will be people out there and you have to watch, because this will be something that also shapes the way that you like proceed in life. Like once again, it's gonna affect your psychology, because if you have no trust in the people around you, you might have no trust in whatever you're doing, because you got to worry about the people that you can't trust. So you're putting your energy to people you can't trust. So if you have positive people around you, it's going to make you think more positively when it comes to whatever you're doing, because you know your friends are positive, they believe in you, you believe in yourself. But if you have people that don't believe in you, it's just gonna give you a mindset like, dang, like it's a bunch of negativity around you. Once again, everything stems to psychology. So once again, make sure you put the right people around you. Like everybody in this room, you can socialize with anybody in this room and make some friends. And you don't even have to talk on a daily basis, but you know that person's a trader. And you know if like you're ever struggling with something, if y'all get along, you know, like you can go out to that person and be like, hey bro, I'm struggling with this, right? And that's what we're all here for, is to become better people, right? We're not here to like show off ego or show off this or show off that. We're here. I just want to get better for myself, to be honest. It's not like a who or what is making me want to learn. It's just really like, I just want to keep getting better and see, like, I want to, like, I always think if I'm going to do something, I'm trying to be like, I don't want to be the best, but I definitely want to be better every single day than myself. I think that's what it comes down to for me, is like, can I be better? Yo, y'all just blocked them. Can I be better than myself every single day? Can I get better? Is it a possibility that I can get better every single day? Say regardless of the fact, I've been trading for 4 years, going on 5. I've been doing the same thing since the beginning of like this whole journey, right? And people are always going to make some type of narrative of you any type of way. I mean, I can sit here and debunk everything, but like, what would that prove, right? Like, as long as I'm here for you guys, I think that will be the biggest thing. And like, I can debunk everything. Like, I've been a solid person since the start of my journey. I've been trying to stay a solid person. Not even trying, it's something I do. And stay a solid person and make sure everybody gets enough value as possible. If you're learning, you also need to be practicing as well. Not trading actual real yet until you feel like you actually got it, but you need to be implementing it. Because once you start implementing, that's when you're actually having it locked into your head. But if you're just writing it down, learning it, then there's no point, because you're not testing yourself on that knowledge that you're learning. So you have to keep testing yourself, because once you test yourself, you'll start to remember certain things, right? The thing was like, if I'm gonna do something, I have to give it my all. If I'm not gonna give it my all, then don't do it at all. Yep. Something like that. It was something like that. I remembered it. That shit was so long ago. But yeah, it was like, if you're gonna do something, No, it was like, if you're gonna do something, give it your all, and if you're not gonna give it your all, don't do it at all. Something like that.
You become obsessed when you start trading. You become obsessed. I'm waking up
Obsessed,
4 in the
yes.
morning, looking at charts. How do you get over that?
You don't. Why would you get over that?
Right.
I dream about charts, sleep about charts, eat about charts, eat looking at the charts. Yeah, bro, you gotta love the charts. Yeah. Don't think about that, bro.
Right.
Don't think about that, bro. We're all here for money, of course, right? But we have to focus on that skill, bro. Like if you
Oh shit! What the hell?
yo,
God damn, that shit
that
was.
shit scared me. Yo,
It was low. It was low key slow though. It was like slow motion.
why did y'all all scream? It depends on what you want to trade, though. Like I'm not gonna tell you like what you should trade, but I definitely would say that when it comes to my trading, I trade things that have a lot of volume on a day-to-day basis. I think I said this earlier, where things like gold or things like NASDAQ, those are constant things where people are putting money into it. Investors are investing money into it on a day-to-day basis. They're also closing and selling positions on a day-to-day basis. So it's always going to be some type of fluctuation. And the economy is also going to make it fluctuate as well, because if something happens, all the investors may get out or they all might get in. So it's going to be high fluctuation more than something that has nobody investing into it. So as long as whatever you're trading is something that at 9 o'clock in the morning when the bank's open, people are placing positions, then that's something you should be trading. Or like something like crypto, where people are constantly putting millions and millions of dollars into it on a day-to-day basis, or taking out millions and millions of dollars on a day-to-day basis. That is something you trade.
God.
Bro, that's like 40 questions.
Quick question. Do you recommend proper
No. I think prop firms are like playing how to practice and study. I would say, I mean, I can answer that now. When it comes to properly practicing and studying, I personally don't believe, like I'm a strong believer in not back testing, because you're essentially doing something that already happened. When you're trying to become a day trader, you need to focus, you need to be good at knowing what's fin to happen, or like what's going to happen, if that makes sense. So when you're practicing something that has already happened, you're essentially just back testing the past, right? It's already happened before. But you need to become a better trader on like, okay, I see this and this, that means that this could possibly happen and play out in my favor. So what I would say is when you're practicing, you need to basically pretend like you're already or pretend like you're a trader already, if that makes sense. So you need to be waking up at the time you want. Like the other guy said, if you want to build a routine for yourself, you can. What time whenever you want to wake up, build that for yourself so you understand like, this time works best for me. Or like, this is when I should be waking up. This should when I should go to sleep. Or this is what I should be doing at this time, right? And then go into the markets that you want to trade. Once you trade something with high liquidity, or like something that's always fluctuating high, so that way you can find consistent moves, or you can find the market is always moving and trending, and then practice that on a day-to-day basis, right? Practice getting in the morning and trying to hold that trade throughout the day and seeing if it plays out, right? Because what this is going to do is then, when you're actually ready to trade, you've already done this so many times that you already know what to do, right? It's the same way with like sports, for example, like boxing, because I box, right? When I first started, it was more of like learning what I was doing, the fundamentals behind it, right? Learning how to throw a punch, how to throw a kick or whatever, right? I did MMA too as well. Learning how to throw that punch, and then doing it over and over and over and over. And then when it came to an actual fight, it was like I knew how to throw the punch, and it was just like natural, right? So once again, I would definitely say, and to also combat with it as well, you wouldn't just watch, fighting highlights and think you're going to be the best fighter, right? You actually have to do it. So the same way with trading, you can't just watch the past. You have to actually get into the markets and do it, right? So that answers that question. Wow. Yeah, it was good, bro.
Yeah.
I want to say, and I want to leave you guys with, it kind of goes back to what that one guy said. I want you guys to really I'm not here just to just chat shit. Oh, but I want you guys to come out of here and really think like, I've definitely learned something. I want you all to feel like you've learned something, but not from like, oh, the chart standpoint, but a psychology standpoint. The biggest thing that can you shut them up? But the biggest thing I want to say is if you leave this room, what the fuck?
God damn.
If you leave this room, remember trading is not just about the charts. It's all psychology. Like at the end of the day, it's all psychology. I want you guys to really leave with that and not just like trading question. Like I have no problem with it, but I definitely want to say that some of the questions that y'all do have, you can easily find that out as you start to trade more and more and more. It's something like I can tell you what to do, but you're not really going to understand it until it happens over and over and over and over, right? But what I can say is like change your mindset. Everything that you think, every way that you process something, make sure it becomes better and better, because we all have a history that their situation is like all of them. They feel like that's them, that's their identity. So what I'm trying to say is create your own identity. Don't let standards hold you back, right? The world has been born, or like it's been programmed to have standards, right? Everything, like since birth, right? We had a standard, like we go to school, we do this, we do that. The teachers tell us what to do, the principal tell us what to do, government says this for our parents or whatever, and we're all supposed to do that, right? So we're programmed a certain way. The moment you step out of line is when you are looked at as an introvert, or you're looked at as somebody weird, or like, because like trading, if you tell that to some people on the streets, they might look at you like, dang, that shit, like, are you crazy? It's risky, or it's not gonna work, or it's a scam, or this and that, right? So you're always gonna be looked at as an outlier, right? But don't let standards, or don't let people come into your life and be like, you can't do it, right? Don't let people think that being an outlier is wrong. So at the end of the day, when you come into this game, make sure that you come in with the heart and the mindset of saying like, all right, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna try to become the best I can at the skill that I wanna get better at. So I wanna get better at trading, let me get better at this skill. I'm gonna practice, I'm gonna dribble the ball every day, I'm gonna become better at dribbling the ball every day. And when it is time to take the shot, I have room to take the shot, I have room to have the clarity to become a better trader, right? If you're leaving this room, it's more about how can I change my mindset now? Like, how can I become a better person now? That's my main goal for this whole room. How can you become a better person right now? Think about how you can become a better person. Like as we speak right now, just think to yourself like, all right, what can I do? What can I change in my life to become the best version of myself? What do I have to eliminate out my life to become the best person of myself? What do I need to add to my life to become the best person of myself? And from there, everything starts to change little by little. You're not gonna see it in the beginning, but long term it's gonna play out. Because I didn't used to talk this way, or like my mindset was never this way. It was something that was built. It's not something I can just tell you like, here, this is what you gotta do and you'll understand it. It's something that you have to truly build for yourself so you can fully understand yourself, because we're all different human beings. We can all think in a way of like better for ourselves, but it's gonna be in our own version, right? We're all gonna be separate people, right? So that's what I wanna leave this room with. I'll take another question. No, you already asked one, bro. Stop loss. Bro, I already asked stop loss.
How did your money management change when you went from 6 figures to 7 to 8 to 9?
Pretty much my assistants handle all that. 'Cause I be wanting to do some crazy shit sometimes. But I think my biggest thing is like most of my money goes to trying to like, cause like what I'm building now, I don't want to say it, but what I'm building for next year is pretty much going to take up a lot of funds that I want to put towards it, but I know it's going to be for a greater cause. Cause like I am big on utilizing my money for better causes and value more than anything, because value is what's going to always impact the world. Like I definitely would say that I want to see myself on a statue one day.
I see it.
This way, right? And once you dig into the whys and you dig deep and you're able to like put everything together or even break everything down so it makes sense to yourself, then you start to learn more.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you because you mean so much to my family and myself personally. And to give a little something back to you, I know you got the money